do you think that no-code platforms can replace old school developers?
Do you mind if I start with this one? So let's talk about Unity. So,
please.
Yeah, we obviously get this question a lot. So I want to start by saying I've spent my entire career being the most intense no-code skeptic of all as an engineer. So most engineers, especially good engineers, should all be very skeptical of no-code, right? Because no-code, I mean, historically, it's been kind of like a toy, like an idea where like somehow you can magically build software without like writing the code for it. So it's always not been legitimate. But we think it's becoming slowly more and more legitimate. So the quick story I wanted to share is before starting UI Flow, I had a game development company. I was working with a couple of other, so I was the engineer and the game designer, and I had a couple of other game artists that I was working with. And at the beginning, I was going to build like my own game engine and C++ and build everything from scratch. But I wanted to at least give Unity and Unreal Engine a try, because I heard that there are like no code tools for creating production quality games. I thought it would be total BS, and I thought I would hate it. But really interestingly, I fell in love with Unity, which is technically a no-code tool. And I was surprised by that, because with Unity, like you get an architecture for free, you get like physics engines, you get cross-platform build systems, and you can configure games at a high level visually. It's my opinion that building games is the most complex type of software to build. So I didn't think it would be legitimate. But I realized with Unity, they drew the abstraction layer between visual configuration and writing code perfectly, where if at any moment you want to build something custom, you can write code in C#, you can implement scripts and add those to game objects. So like within a day, I suddenly became almost like a no-code believer just because of Unity specifically, because I think it was done so well. And over time, when I was thinking through like the modernization of Workday's no-code capabilities, I was thinking a lot about the experience with Unity, and not only just like the way they separate coding versus no coding, but also the collaboration aspect. Like you have engineers and artists working together in the same editor, which is something I hadn't experienced before. So that was a really neat experience for me too. But the reason I say that story is because even me as an engineer, I loved using Unity, but I still was writing code. So our approach is we don't think that no-code tools should replace engineers. It never will. Like in the future, there's always going to be people writing some low-level code somewhere. We want to like, if you were to look at like an engineer's typical day, they spend 90% of their time wrestling with like build systems and like fixing bugs with architectural issues, tests failing, like stuff that doesn't have anything to do with the product itself. And if you get rid of all of that and just enable engineers to write code for individual like UI components or write code for data components, and that's it. And then you have the rest of the team putting the components together to build an app. We think that's the most efficient way to build software. So that's my long way of saying we don't intend on replacing engineers. We just want engineers to focus on the right things where code makes sense.